This was sent to the bottom. I'm gonna look for you to tell me that when we are live, because I know that the data started.
Okay, we are in fact live.
Mm-hmm. Hey, hello, classes and enemy badasses, and I'm the fucking non-binary, and like nothing's gonna change that. Um, it is another week. Now remember,
Siobhan,
uh, hello there. Isaiah Taylor probably won't be joining
we
us
cannot hear
because
you yet. You might want to check your mic.
Parece que
There
pegou
you
no
go. Now we can hear you. And
yes,
now we can't.
The hell is?
There you go.
there we can hear you now.
Well, I have way too many browsers and too much depend on them, so I downloaded another browser just for YouTube, nothing else.
Hmm.
So that way I can have also that one open and not use up a whole lot of bandwidth when I'm doing my show.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, yeah, it's like I have to like be concerned with like that as well too. Yep, just like, yep. So welcome in everyone. Hey, right now just busy sharing like the hello Joey in the live chat as well too. Welcome on in. We survived another week,
Joey.
so at least there's that. But God,
But the Republicans are busy building us up for another plague
yes, exactly. Hey,
because they put
because
a
like
crazy person in charge of Health and Human Services, and they put more
that's what.
crazy people under him, and they're busy shutting down everything and dismantling everything because they're assholes.
Yes, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Is now the head of like Healthy Human Services.
They
That
put the
both seems
fluoride
to,
in the drinking water. That makes people crazy. Turns them queer and
uh,
stuff.
is no, it's like no, it's fluoride that's making the frogs gay, or there's something to put in the chemicals in the water to
They're
make the
trying to
frogs
steal our
gay.
precious bodily fluids.
Well, some people are just giving it away for like better or worse. Hey, Mithro, how you doing? But like, yeah. So I think that like they voted to confirm like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was the wrong party line. So, but like there was like two. It was like 52 to 48 or something like that. So it's just like, uh, I kind of wish that like if the Democrats would just show backbone and just refuse to vote for any of like the people that they want to confirm something like that, they're going to be able to confirm if like the Republicans just like fall in line directly and just like and
Democrats,
they have
backbone? What are you, high?
this. I'm
I,
wishful. I'm
I've been high since '89, and sometimes I wish it too.
mhm. I haven't been high before, so I can really say that. But anyway, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, unlike Clinton, I inhaled like crazy.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
I,
Uh, is and as long as it's done.
Oh dear, did my internet freeze?
well, you can't overdose on pot. You
Bit,
can't
but
do stupid shit while you're on pot.
You
That
can get
we're
way
end
too
up
high
in a,
on pot. It's
in
a
terminal
chemically active
death.
substance. I think you could probably.
Well, you would have to smoke so much, but well, maybe gummies, maybe gummy.
Or you could be like that chick who
I can see you
drank a
overdose on
bottle of
THC.
massage oil that was loaded with THC.
John Brock was it? Okay, no, he's back.
Yeah, my internet's unstable, so it's been kind of wonky. Hopefully, it's stabilized now.
Anyway, somebody who drank what?
What did woman
massage
drink?
oil.
Oh,
She and her boyfriend
oh.
got massage oil loaded with THC. They wanted to try it, and then she decided that she didn't want to try that and instead drank the whole bottle. And it was safe to drink, but she ended up way too high for way too long.
Ignorance is a capital crime.
Yeah. So
Or Darwin Awards,
exactly.
whichever way you want to put it. I
but-
see a tail behind you. I
I
see a cat tail.
Oh,
And not the plant either. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like, what?
yeah, that's Sasha. He is letting me know that his food bowl is not entirely full.
Right.
So he's
Therefore,
underneath
it's
my
eating
desk letting me
siren.
know that. And you can't see it, but there's a dog on the other side of my bed.
Okay.
Puppy. I don't care if they're 14, they're still a puppy.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Orange cat. Yay!
And
It's
he
a
is not a
Garfield.
cuddle bug.
Mhm.
I had one that was I had one that was like that, about that size, but he had golden yellow fur and he was part Persian because his nose was pushed in.
Mhm.
Beautiful cat.
Yeah. Oh, let's
So what
see.
are we yakking about today?
Various different things. So, like, first, John Bruckman mentioned of how, like, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. got, like, confirmed, and several other, like, terrible people and unqualified people are confirmed, that, like, under Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or something like that. Funny enough, like, if you remember Eric Adams, like in the fall, with his corruption charge, blatantly corrupt as well, too. Just, like, taking money and fights from Turkey as well, too, and being, like, friendly to, like, that dictator as well, too. He has publicly said as well too, and also his memos went out to his staff and stuff like that. Do not criticize Donald Trump as well too publicly. We don't want to offend the president as well too. And lo and behold, his corruption charges in the courts has been dropped by the federal government. So it's just like,
However, not to see here's where I differ with that person, okay, that's involved in that case.
mhm.
Because the prosecutor that was involved in that case resigned rather
Ah,
than do that. My problem is this, okay, and resigning brings some attention to it, whatever that's called. My problem is
mhm,
this: if you're going to quit anyway,
mhm.
make them make you quit.
Mhm.
Make them
Yeah.
fire you.
Mhm,
Okay, stay in there, refuse to do whatever until you have to go, until they're fired you and whatever.
mhm.
My opinion. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that's what's another question I wanted to bring up as well too. That like what to do in this sort of like a situation as well too. As I was in a Discord call, a bunch of friends um and like we're all friends, so we all know of our politics of the earth. And like one of our friends who's like he knows that he is more moderate compared to like the rest of all anarchists, and he is a progressive as well too. I believe that he's definitely anti-fascist as well too. He just has faith in the system. He'll
You're
be the
talking about
first to
Steve,
say
right?
is similar politics. I'll say that. But like he even like suggested, but he knows it was controversial, suggested as well too, of like talking to our representatives, even if our representatives are Republicans. But it's
No,
just like that got shut down because like
no.
the other friends in the call were trans women, disabled trans women. So it's just like even they don't one has barely enough energy to do what like she is doing and protecting her community and like helping like house like people who are like unhoused and like feed people who like are struggling as well too. That takes away all of her spoons as much as it does, as well as like drama within like the community that she's involved with too, including a small business owner. I'm not going to go into further details since like this is like private call as well too. Oh, but like yeah, that's I just if there's like this Democrats, I can see you can shame them into like doing things to like try to like stop this bullshit from happening as well too. That they can cave and like with any amount of pressure. Yeah, I can see that being effective as well too.
One of the things that I'm going to be addressing on my show in a little while.
Mhm.
I just want to interject something real quick
Sure.
here.
Mhm.
The U.S. government, in their infinite wisdom or lack thereof,
Mhm.
has taken down, the National Park Service has taken down all references to trans people in the Stonewall Memorial.
Mhm.
And not only that, but Martina Navratilova, I'm not going to use words I would normally use. I'll use them on my show because I'm going to mention it there too. The Martina Navratilova, ex-tennis star, et cetera, et cetera. First she came out as bi, and then she came out as lesbian. And I don't have a problem with her coming out, and I understand why she came out as bi first, because that's always like the lead into gay or lesbian, because if people don't freak out with you being bi, then you're like, oh, okay, I'm lesbian, or okay, I'm gay. Is a full-blown TERF and stated on Twitter, because I refuse to call it by that other crappy name,
Yep.
that there were no trans people at Stonewall. Not just they got there late. Okay, there were no
Marsha
trans
P.
people.
Johnson, right?
Yes, she was there.
Okay, so now here's the thing. Other people came before Marsha and Sylvia. Okay,
True.
a couple hours before. They're the ones who got the most publicity. Okay.
True.
But so they're, in fact, I will probably next week I'll be doing a lot of stuff about this. And I'll have a list of all those that featured in that whole, 2 to 3 year period.
The
But
movement, yeah.
Marsha Johnson and Sylvia Rivera were the two who've gotten the most publicity and have done a lot. Don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
done a hell of a lot. But they didn't exist. Now she says that gay women, gay men, and drag queens were there, but not trans women.
Hmm.
What?
Okay, so I can believe that like some trans women were calling themselves drag queens at the time as well
Right.
too, and then came out later to realize like, no, I'm a woman. I'm not a cross-dresser as well too. I'm actually a woman.
She actually used that word too.
Hmm. Uh, yeah, because like, well, that's the thing when you when like words change and something like that, or we like expand what we mean and something like that, and this used to be the term that like was used for that's no longer used now, transsexual. But there are people that like were referred to as that, but now we just really refer to them as like a trans woman as well too. It's like even like Oprah talked to like a trans woman, and that's what's convinced her. It's like, but this woman's a good mother as well too, and so
I
that's all
remember
that
the
matters.
very first time Oprah had a trans woman on her show.
Hmm.
Her name was Jenny. Anyway,
Hmm.
her name was Jenny, and she like asked her a bunch of questions first, and they had a conversation. And then she opened her up to the audience question, whatever, right?
Hmm.
But she said the first thing she asked her question she asked her, she said, "What's the thing that you regret the most about becoming a trans woman?" Is what she put it, and
Hmm.
she said, "Pockets." I have literally, because I learned to do this years ago. Okay, probably 5, 10 years ago was when I bought my first pair of female jeans.
Hmm.
Anyway. And I love the design. They had the little skulls and stuff on the back, and the sewing and whatever. Fine, cool, dandy. I get it home. The pockets were sewn on. It was just
Yes.
designs that were sewn into it. I was mad, mad, mad.
Yeah. Hmm.
Or
Once I started,
dresses with pockets,
yeah.
vestidos, dresses with pockets.
Shit, when I started wearing leggings, I was just like, wait a minute, these don't have pockets. How do? Why is it women clothes don't have pockets as well too?
Well, because by law we have to carry a purse. We can't put anything. We have to put everything in a purse. You don't want to get hit with mine, though. Let me tell you. We have to put everything in a purse, including the kitchen sink,
Mhm.
and nothing in pockets. We don't need pockets, apparently, for any way, shape, form, or reason.
Mhm.
It is getting a little better.
Yeah.
Like I have a pair of jeans that has pockets in the back, but not the
Mhm.
front. And
Yeah.
then I have a pair of jeans that has no pockets in the back and pockets in the front that are this deep. Like
Mhm.
you can put some keys, maybe some change, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why for the skirts I do have something like that. What I bought is just like I wish I could find it, but it's like under the pile as it were too. And basically a utility belt. It's a cloth belt as well too, which is like if like Batman's utility belt with all the gadgets something like that, it has that some pockets for that and pockets for this and pouches as well too. So it's like if I go out wearing skirts, I will like wear that around my waist as well too.
I found a website, probably a year ago. I'll have to find it again and
Mhm.
um, post a link in the comments or whatever. But it's a website that sells, they call it unisex because that's what they are,
Mhm.
kilts.
Yep.
And they also sell them in rainbow colors.
Hmm.
And then either whatever, all of the kilts have pockets.
Hmm.
So
Because I don't see why not, as were.
I need to get some money up and do those.
Yeah. Well, speaking of money, it reminded me that like Joanna Roberts did message me like earlier today. She just asked me to like boost her like a Tumblr post for like begging bowls, the same link that I always posted whenever I post those things as well too. But she also asked me if I can spare any money for her or something like that because she's also been like in bed for the last 2 days or something like that. But like I did get paid on Friday. So I can like definitely spare money to like Joanna Roberts, and so I will do so. But like that's there in case like anyone else like needs to like help give her money as well too, because like yeah, unfortunately like food prices are just like way too high. Not just for eggs, which is like because
Right.
like
But
um
when you have someone like Joanna,
mm,
people think, oh, if I donate $5, that ain't going to be squat. Okay, that's true.
mm,
However, if 20 people donate $5,
yeah,
that's $100. That's
yes,
food. That's maybe a utility bill.
mm-hmm,
Something that she might need for medical purposes, whatever.
mm-hmm,
Not everybody has insurance.
yeah. And like we're hopefully that like Medicaid and Medicare will like still be around as well too. And or payments are going out for those things too, especially with like what the Doge and
The premiums.
yeah.
See, so far, this is a benefit of our blue wave that we had about
Mm,
3.5 or so years ago. The Republicans took back the House barely here in
mm,
Michigan.
mm,
Democrats still control the Senate. We have Democratic governor, et cetera, et cetera.
mm,
Um, and so Michigan Medicaid, Priority Health, there's like 7 or 8 different forms, but Priority Health is the best. Okay. And
mm,
just about everybody who takes any kind of Medicaid takes Priority Health. When I get my dentures, which will hopefully be in a couple of months, they will pay for everything.
mm,
I had bottom surgery last October. They paid for all of it.
mm.
The only medications I pay for, the only costs I incur paying for medications is I have to get needles, and that's like 4 times a year on average, 4 to 5 times a year, and they're about $6 a box.
Mm.
That's it. Plus, like I have nerve damage in my elbow, so I'm gonna go get an E EMA no EMG, which is checking the nerves and bones and whatever.
Mm.
See if there's a pinched nerve or whatever there.
Yeah,
That's all paid for currently. Okay,
nice.
currently.
Trying to I think also like oh yeah one of my viewers like I said that like they like got signed up for like a bottom surgery or something like that. Again, I hope that goes all the way through as well too, because like at least according to like official federal government documents as well too, there's no such thing as that LGBT. It's just now LGB as well too.
Right.
But I think all they did is just like the control F like find LGBT and just edit to be LGBT. And so like when you read the things as well too, there's still like references to like trans people in those like documents like when like going abroad as well too.
Well, the incompetence of the government is, actually, I don't complain about the incompetence of the government.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that we're not in complete full-blown fascism and haven't been for some time.
Yeah.
Only reason. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Remember the Muslim ban? It took the Trump team 3 tries to get that done, and it was completely legal.
mhm, yeah. Uh, is but yeah, but like there's resistance as well too, as like the Democratic parties are doing some things as well too. I just wish that like when they go on to like a press conference as well too, I forgot who it was, the like the leader of the House Democrats or something like that. He says like, well, we don't know what we can do. Like we just have to hope that like some Republicans are like going to like side with us as well too. Oh, but we had just had to hope that like a few Republicans are willing to lose their seats to be able to like stop Trump of what to do. And I was like, okay, but first of all, you all were warning us about like Project 2025. I'm not saying that you were like falsely like raising alarm bells about that too, because no, that's a real threat. But you had like ever since November to know that like that the results of the election was that you had plenty of time to prepare for like a total government takeover from like the
Punchbacks and whatever, right?
yeah, exactly. So it's like if you do have like a plans for like to do that, it's like could you at least like not instill like confidence in us as and you're doing everything that you can do to like stop this as well too. But it's just like no, they
Like
seem to
there's an example that I like to use.
hmm
Just recently, and by recently I don't mean 2 days ago, I mean within the last month or so.
hmm
The GOP, well, the Trump administration, which is the GOP, which is Elon Musk.
Yes.
I call him loan scum because they can be anagrammed to those words. Okay.
Yeah.
With a K, SKUM, put out a statement basically saying that, this is what, this is the official version of what a man is, what a woman is, et cetera, okay? And that gender is, they didn't say assigned, but that's basically what they meant.
Determined by birth or something like that.
Determined at conception.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is hilarious because it's not actually determined until 6 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hormones from the parent to determine whether they are quote unquote male, female, intersex, whatever. Okay. Until that time, we're all female. So every single male in America is a trans woman. Or a trans man, excuse me.
Yes, exactly. They universally they said that like old people must be women because of like the wording of like their executive order as well too. So it's just like,
well, they don't care about old people. Not only do they do the they're trying to cut. If they could just push a button, they would completely wipe out Medicaid, wipe out Medicare, wipe out Social Security, wipe out disability, etc. But I still remember, and I still have the receipts, the websites, and a couple of videos and whatever, where during the height of the pandemic, more than one Fox person, more than one GOP leader suggested that old people should die to save the economy.
Yep, I remember that.
Well, I mean, it's old Republicans.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of them did during the pandemic.
Okay. Well, yeah, because they like said like it's my right not to wear a mask, and it's like no, I don't have to like get that like vaccine as well too. Why are you shutting everything down? It's just like the flu or something like that. And like
I remember I was working at Wally World and wearing my mask. Okay, because at that time, this is like the first, I guess, like 2.5 years in a pandemic or whatever. I was happened to be working day shift, and so I'm wearing a mask and I'm stocking eggs. Okay. And this guy comes over, I can see him on the corner of my eye, and he comes over, he goes and grabs a dozen eggs, and he does what I do, look and check make sure they're not all broken or whatever. He stops and he looks at me, he walks up to me, and he goes, "They're making you mad at that mask, aren't they?" And I just said, yeah. I mean, if I said what I wanted to say, I'd get fired. And at that time, I still needed that job. And it's useless anyway. There's just some people that you can try to reach with information, but all the information is out there. Every single bit of factual information about trans people, about Black people, about ethnicity, all of that is on the internet. And
do you research sheeple?
Yeah. I did my research. I watched this video on a YouTube, and there was this health news site. Yeah, okay.
It's gonna be a long. Well, people would say 4 years, but because that's how long Trump's going to be in office, hopefully, unless something changes.
There's already been two House of Representatives that have put forth, a bill. It hasn't gone anywhere yet. Hasn't even gone in committee or been in the House yet or whatever. But they basically reserved the space, so to speak, for a bill to allow him to run for a third term.
That would take more than a bill. That would take a constitutional amendment.
Yeah, but if they don't care about the law and they don't follow it.
Well, that's the thing about the executive orders is that that's just the executive orders is just like, here, me as president, I'm suggesting that you all do these things, and then it's up to the government agencies that applies to enforce that executive orders. And some people have said no, I'm not doing that, and of course courts challenging it as well too, because some of them are just blatantly illegal. But I think there are some people. I think Jenny Vance and said this on a podcast one time. It's just under whose power is there going to stop us? And I think that's what at least Jenny Vance.
And he's also said recently that the president should be able to do whatever he wants in order to quote unquote uphold the law.
Well, I mean, the Supreme Court already said that.
Yeah, protect the country whether it breaks the law or not. That's the way he put it. Those aren't the exact words in the exact order, but that's what he meant. Yeah. I know it's easy for me to say. I'm retired. It's easy for me to say.
Yeah.
However, if I had been working in the Treasury Department, they would have had to force me to the fuck out physically.
Yeah. I agree.
Or, I know a few commands that, oops, I just deleted all of the data.
Well, that's like one thing, like with the executive order about like preventing like LGBTQ, like trans healthcare that happened as well too. The doctors would be like punished for like I forgot what like the rules or the words they use stuff like that. Children like sterilization or something like that. I don't know. But one doctor in New York is saying that like I'm willing to like be arrested to like continue to provide like healthcare to my patients as well too. So
The ACLU and over a dozen medical organizations and over 100 doctors have signed on to a lawsuit, which has so far slowed the Trump administration down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'll get into that later.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
I don't expect it to do too much in the long run.
Yeah.
Because the originalists will come up with some transparent excuse to hate on trans people.
And even aside from trans people, because obviously I have a vested interest in it more than some other people, it doesn't matter what the situation is, like with the birthright citizenship, okay, or the creating Doge, okay.
Yeah.
It's just something he pulled out of his ass. And there's no transparency rules, which obviously there's no way they would do that anyway.
Oh, but they are transparent. Look at their like website.
Transparency rules. They are not appointed by Congress or formed by Congress or set up by Congress. Okay. So, and again, that's illegal right there.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's the thing: the Supreme Court, obviously, they can rule however they want, but the Supreme Court might say for something like that, that it's a private organization, and he could kind of sort of like the president can appoint whoever he wants as his private attorney. Okay, maybe something connected with that. I doubt it, but maybe. Okay, but with the birthright citizenship or 3 or 4 others, those are amendments. The president can't just go legally. Can't just go. Nope, we're going to get rid of that one.
Well, yeah, it's been interpreted that people who are here, regardless of how they get here, if they have a kid here, that kid is a citizen. Because
what?
There is an argument that's getting traction on the far right, saying that people who come here illegally, their children are not citizens. Okay. That probably won't fly with the Supreme Court just because it's so extreme.
Right. Well, not only that, but the current law is also, despite what right pundits want you to think, that if you are born anywhere in the world and one of your parents is an American citizen, you're an American citizen.
Well, that's not what they're going after. They're going after the children.
I'm just saying, you can be born in Moscow, you can be born in wherever. So when all of Trump's current adult children were born in the United States, their mother wasn't an American citizen yet. Every single one of them. Well, Eric, Donnie Jr., the less intelligent one, Eric. We're going to start on him. The one that he wants to date all the time.
Ivanka.
All of those were born when their mother was not an American citizen. So by their logic, they shouldn't be American citizens either. But
well, no, their father was an American citizen, therefore, blah blah blah. The thing is, they just want to go after anchor babies, and the logic is the amendment says anybody who is under the jurisdiction of the U.S. I can't remember the exact wording, or under the authority. I can't remember. But what they're saying is, if you come here illegally, then you're not subject to the U.S. And therefore it doesn't count. And that means that anybody who comes here illegally doesn't have to obey any of the laws. That's why the Supreme Court probably isn't going to go for it. Because they would have to jump through some weird fucking hoops.
Within the last week or two, might have been 2 weeks, where MAGA guy, Latino, voted for Trump okay, and was complaining. Wait, no, I think he might have been Caucasian, but his wife was Latina. Okay, and he voted for Trump, and she was going through the legal steps to become a citizen. Okay, which they always say, well, it's illegal. You got to go through the process. Okay, so she was going through the process, was in midway and whatever, and they deported her.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the case in Texas. I don't remember the woman's name. Because Texas says no abortion whatsoever except to save the life of the mother. However, when a woman wanted an abortion, and that was the case, it went all the way up to the Texas Supreme Court, and the Texas Supreme Court said no. Even though her doctor and the hospital that he was associated with said she's going to die if this fetus is brought to term, they said no. So even though they put that loophole / excuse whatever in the law, to
They didn't mean
pretend,
it.
right? They didn't mean it in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. And there are states which if you can't get an abortion legally, period. They also tried to make it where they wanted to pass legislation in each state where you couldn't legally travel to another state to get an abortion. That's what this woman did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Joe McClure said like you heard they're trying to remove birth right services for those born on tribal lands. I've not, but like it's not
Doesn't
surprising,
surprise me.
honestly.
No. They want to finish that genocide.
Yeah.
One of my friends who happens to be indigenous told me that some of their people in the community intentionally voted for Trump because they wanted to trash the whole system.
Mm.
I mean, it's been fucking them over for 300 years. Same for black people. Same for Latinos. So what we Caucasians are experiencing now, they've been experienced for centuries.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, slightly less to them the last, say, 50 to 80 years, but then slightly more for us. It's kind of like it's one reason why I absolutely detest pink hat feminism.
Mm-hmm.
We got the pink hats, and we're gonna push for civil rights, for us, and and healthcare access and abortion access and whatever. Okay, so where were you 20 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you when they finally took it down, but they had a statue to the doctor. I did this on a little clip on my show. They had a statue to the doctor who operated on black women with no anesthesia. And they put a statue up to him. We can't take the statues down because it's removing history. You could read a book.
Statues aren't
I know
about
that's a
history.
stretch.
Statues are about memorials. They're about
I know that's
celebrating
a stretch,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, yeah.
That sounded like gobbledygook. Are you one of them illegals?
Ramaga. I can speak. I'm not in any way fluent to Spanish, but I'm at about a second grade level. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of words. I don't know a lot of words, but I've got the grammar structure down and whatever. My accent is más o menos. I can do the same thing with Huelga, Irish, and then I know a few words and phrases in Ethiopian, a bit more in French, and that's about it. But whenever I would say something like that, when I worked at Big Blue Box Mart, people would, even some of my friends initially, people would look at me like either I had a third head or like I was this oral polyglot, that, because the most they've ever thought of is, wow, people speak Spanish. That's another language.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, except for maybe taco.
And they even say tortilla wrong.
Tortilla.
Maybe if they go to the bar, they will know of tequila.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Guacamole.
Remember Bill Hooks
No,
jokes?
they probably know marijuana.
Very fun.
Well, I remember hearing that like I probably should have like followed this up. I think that like the reason why they chose that word marijuana instead of
Oh,
like
it's
weed.
because they were using it to go after the Hispanics.
Yes,
The,
exactly.
the war
To
on
avoid
drugs
it.
was started by Nixon to go after his political opponents, which included college students and brown people.
Right.
Yep.
And they got a double whammy with marijuana going after college students and Hispanics.
Hmm.
Has anybody, has either of you two or anybody in the who's watching ever actually seen Reefer Madness?
No, I haven't actually.
No.
Like, you need to watch it. Okay. Um, Obviously, it's also, because some of the concepts in it are still applicable today with the GOP, but oh my God, it is absolutely hilarious. There was also, I remember a show on Dragnet, which tells you how old I am.
Hmm.
But show on Dragnet where the big reveal at the end, because they were like, it was a husband and wife, and they were getting high all the time, and the cops kept trying to kind of not arrest them,
Because they were
but to
white.
get well, that too, okay, but to get to the dealer, okay, and they're finally pushing, they're finally pushing, they're finally pushing, and they knew that the couple had a baby. So this was actually a big tremor isn't quite the word I want. Well, like nowadays we might call it a little bit viral, but a big controversy at the time. Okay, that they actually showed it. But Friday asked the mother where her baby is, and she said, "Oh, it's in the bathroom." Okay, getting ready to give her a bath, and they went in there, and all they showed was the toys floating in the tub and her standing there screaming, obviously, implying that the baby drowned. Okay. Um, and I remember Dare and the war on drugs and Just Say No and, you know, Lordy. Um, and I've been following politics, I watched when Nixon was about to get arrested and thrown in jail, and
Hmm.
Ford, and I didn't like him before that, and I definitely didn't like him after that.
Hmm.
Um, Basically gave Nixon the way out, pardoned him, okay, and said it was to heal the country.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely why.
Right. Yeah, but I remember, from I started watching politics from about Nixon on, and also a little bit because I graduated just 2.5 years after Nam ended. So if it had gone a little bit longer, I would have gone to Nam.
Hmm.
Um, and I haven't been like, glommed onto it. I'm not a politics guru or anything.
Yeah.
Especially the stuff that affected me and friends of
Hmm.
mine and my family throughout my life. I have Black people in my family, I have Indigenous people in my family, and they've been, like I said, not just them, okay, but marginalized communities in this country, also, not just ethnic ones, disabled people, etc., have been screwed over for years.
Hmm.
Look at One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest had a lot of truth in it,
Yeah.
especially the CBT.
Hmm.
ECT?
CBT.
ECT.
ECD.
CBT?
CBT. Cognitive behavioral
That's,
therapy was not around then.
right. And that's the fix for autism. Okay.
Yeah.
I have more words to say about that, but it'll take too long. So, but
Hmm.
yeah, so I always say this, when a lot of people, and I still give them hell for it. Okay. If
Hmm.
if if somebody fucks you over and that's brought to their attention, you distance yourselves from them, they learn their lesson, supposedly, and I guess repent in a way, okay, and become better a person and try to, ameliorate the harm that they've done. You don't owe them forgiveness in any way, shape, or form.
Hmm.
And so all these people, Faulkner and Fitzgerald and all these right-wing pundits that for years, decades, have been pushing the GOP party line, and Democrats are bad and liberals are horrible and whatever. Okay. When they started flipping on Trump, and I've used
Fuck
this
'em.
phrase for about 10 years or so, 5 to 10 years, was they are the shit-laden field in which Trump mushroom grew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They can go sit in their mansion and cry about how they're no longer in politics. Fuck them.
Yeah.
They'll be the
Yeah,
second ones up against the wall.
We need
yeah.
boils or bagel slicers, one of the two, or both.
Mhm. Is I mean, it's like back then Nixon, that was like the whole reason that like people like Rupert Murdoch and others realized like no, we need an entirely Pacific like conservative like media ecosystem as it were too, because like when Watergate was covered by the mainstream media, all of America said like no, Nixon had to go, so then they had to create like Fox News essentially, and like the all that kind of like media press where it's like they
That was like 14 years, 15, 16, 17, almost 20 years later. I don't think you
yeah.
could draw a direct relationship between Nixon and Fox. Nixon was out in 63. Fox came in the mid 80s.
Right, right. There's a ancestral relationship, but not a
Mhm.
direct specific one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Fox came in as a response to the solidification of the far right wing white evangelical movement, which had
Mhm.
started coalescing in the mid 70s, which came together fully under Reagan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Reagan screwed this country over in a lot of ways.
He took everything Nixon did and he gave it a better name and made it more popular. Because everything Reagan did, Nixon started, Reagan just did it better.
And at least publicly, okay, public relations and whatever. Because I remember when he ran against Mondale, and I knew Mondale was going to lose, okay, but Reagan, Trump didn't
Mondale
get
had a cute little hat.
Yeah.
For the younger people, Mondale rode in a tank and he wore an army helmet, and it was stupid.
But that was Dukakis.
Oh, that was Dukakis?
Yes.
Okay. What did
My
Mondale
thing
do?
about Mondale was,
Oh, was Mondale the one who got screwed over by the Willie Horton ad?
Yes.
Okay.
So
that was against Bush, not Reagan.
Mondale, when he ran against Reagan, okay, like I said, I knew he was going to lose. Okay. And Trump talks about, oh, I got a mandate, which, 1.4%, which I still think is questionable, considering that all 7 of the battleground states went for Trump. Okay. And again, which is why I think the Electoral College needs to die the horrible death that it should. But anyway, he got a mandate. Okay. Reagan got a mandate. He took 49 states. The only state he did not take was Mondale's home state. That's it. That's a mandate.
Just like Nixon did in 62.
Right.
72. Where he won everything but Massachusetts and one faithless elector in Virginia. A lifelong Democrat who just couldn't bring himself to vote Republican because, a black Republican. So he voted for Libertarian. Which should tell you everything you need to know about both modern Republicans and Libertarians.
Right. And some Democrats. Democrats.
I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I have like a conversation going on in like DMs right now.
Oh, well, you're fired. I want your paycheck and your chocolate.
I don't have chocolate. I have lollipops.
You better find some. Goddess said you can't get rid of trans and non-binary people. You give birth to more of us every single day. True. Joe says needs to be a show like Dragnet, but scripts inspired by complaints about the police instead of stories from. There's so much propaganda out there. Okay.
Oh my god.
And when I was still oblivious to it, Law and Order was my favorite show.
I've seen every episode.
Yep. And Law and Order. Well, I liked the Law and Order part, the original one, because it was half cop and half court. I liked that the best. And then the one that I liked second best was Criminal Intent. And then
I hate that one.
Well, first of all, I have a crush on Bobby. Okay.
Which one's Bobby? Is that Vincent D'Onofrio?
Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He looks like a giant alcoholic baby in that show.
but also, he's clearly on the spectrum. Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you've ever addressed it, but he's clearly on the spectrum. And that's
Vincent D'Onofrio, I think, is on the spectrum, and all of his characters are thus on the spectrum.
Yes.
Especially Ed, or the bug in Edgar.
Remember, he was the cockroach guy in Men in Black.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Edgar, the bug in an Edgar suit.
But it's the disabilities aren't just you got the invisible disabilities too. I mean, for example, I'm bipolar disorder 2. I have chronic depression, anxiety. I am AUDHD. I have CPTSD. And so obviously for some of those things, the medication isn't the answer in any way, shape, or form, nor can it be, like for autism. Okay, I'm autistic, period. I don't care what medications I take, I'm autistic. But the medications that I take for the psych meds that I take for bipolar disorder 2 and for chronic depression do help, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. And for myself and for a lot of people, I also get therapy, which is free for me, through Medicaid. Okay. So, myself and a lot of people would not be here if that were not the case. If we didn't have the medications, if we didn't have the therapy, if we didn't have access to therapy. And I know a lot of people say, well, some therapists do a sliding scale. Okay, well, if you're trying to keep $5 so you can get food, or maybe somebody doesn't have access to the internet, or very good access to the internet, and a therapist might do the sliding scale cheap enough for them and to do online therapy, which is what I do. Okay, because I don't like people. But not everybody does that. Not everybody can do that, and not everybody should do that. It should be tailored to the individual. But those whether it's any sort of invisible disability, because just because somebody isn't walking around with a cane doesn't mean that they don't have a disability. Why is this punk ass piece of shit? Go ahead. I'm messing with something here.
I just wanted to say that Comrade Albright is right. Superhero movies are propaganda.
I agree.
It's all white guys doing white supremacist shit.
I mean, Pop Culture Detective has an excellent video on how the MCU or comic book superhero movies uphold the status quo, and he was also sourced and based off of David Graeber's essay as well too, along the similar lines as well too. It's because they in for example Falcon and Winter Soldier, the enemies or the antagonists of that series were anarchists as well too, because they were against government as well too, and yet they still have to be depicted as horrible evil villains as well too, including doing things like killing innocent people, even though it doesn't make sense for their ideology or for their goals.
The flag smashers in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes that backfires, like with the Inhumans TV show, which you probably haven't seen. It was part of the MCU. They tried to make a TV show about the Inhumans. Part of the reason it flopped is because they tried to do it in IMAX. Also, part of the reason it flopped is because the good guys were royalty upholding a vicious caste system, and the bad guy was trying to end that.
So, somewhat like Magneto.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason Magneto is one of the best and most enduring villains ever. It's because they managed to do that fine balance. They did not do it with the Inhumans. Because the good guys were not Professor X.
And they you have, because I've never seen the Inhumans. Okay. So I'm presuming that you have on a scale, you have Magneto, you have the humans, and then you have Deadpool.
No, I like the Deadpool movies.
I love them. I love them.
They're great.
But
yeah.
I mean, the thing is, this Inhuman TV show was just bad every which way.
Go online, go to YouTube. I watch music reaction videos and movie reaction videos and whatever every day, 2-3 hours of it every day. Go online, go to YouTube, look up Deadpool, Wolverine, dance scene, or bye reactors. Okay, and you'll see a lot of professional reactors. Well, by professional, I mean they may not make a whole lot of money, but this is what they do with their channels. Okay,
right.
YouTubers react to Deadpool dances to bye.
Huh?
Or reactors reacting to Deadpool bye. There's a couple of videos.
Oh yeah.
The reaction, that's a
and some of them are what I call chair dancing. I do the same thing. Some are dancing in their chair and doing the movements and whatever. Okay, yeah, and absolutely loving it. That or also another favorite one is because I like action movies. Okay, And I need to have Jason Statham and Keanu Reeves and Denzel Washington's babies. But anyway, so go watch Denzel Washington, Equalizer, reactions, and then especially John Wick reactions. Okay. Because there's parts in there, like there's one part where in the very first John Wick, okay, the bad guy is talking to his son, who's also bad. And he says, I once saw John Wick kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil.
Fucking pencil.
With a fucking pencil. And then, he's a Russian bad guy. And then in the next movie, they actually show that clip. Okay. In John Wick 2. Yeah, I absolutely love what do you want to call it? Action films. And I wonder, would then stop.
Collaborate and listen.
I wonder, would then Wick be considered a propaganda?
It is
really.
a white guy instituting violence. It's not mostly against brown people. It's vengeance, it's violence, so it's not like Charlie Bronson level racist bullshit, but it is still that white male power fantasy. So I wouldn't call it propaganda. Especially since he rebels against the power structures of the society he's living under.
True. I always kind of wondered that.
But I do think it does have, because it's that white male power fantasy, I do think it has some of that white supremacist element to it.
Yeah.
It's more separatist reactionary than join the power structure fascist reactionary.
And then also, speaking of action films, one of my favorites, okay, if you have not seen it, you need to get it, you need to see it. I think actually it might be on YouTube.
Propaganda.
Or
Marty came up with a good one, propaganda for John Wick.
Yeah, there you go. But it might be on YouTube, okay, like to buy or to rent or whatever. Usually rent's like $3, whatever. Okay, might be free. I don't know. And it has a lot of stars in it, and probably some of the most grotesque violence and the funniest scenes I've ever seen in an action film, and that's Snatch.
No, I love that movie, Snatch.
I absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah. Guy Ritchie at his best. He made two good movies, and then he stopped and never made another movie.
And then also Smoking Aces.
I've never seen Smoking Aces.
Okay, so I love it because, very short, a guy's going to turn evidence against the mob. He's a card shark. So it's called Smoking Aces.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
I hit on him $1 million to whoever gets it.
Okay. Holy shit. Ryan Reynolds, Ray Liotta, Jeremy Piven, Ben Affleck, Chris Pine, Andy Garcia. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's got everybody in it. Okay, at that time. So what I also love about it is Ben Affleck is alive in the movie for about 75 seconds. Because he pulls, there's 3 skinheads who work together and they're assassins. But he pulls up like in a parking spot that they wanted. Okay. And he's got a convertible and he's sitting there and he's, they're like kind of bitching at him. He's like, whatever. Okay. And guy just pulls out a pistol and kills him. I don't think he's literally like 70 seconds in the film, if that. Yeah. But also it's got some good, fight scenes in there. Another one is an old one, Formula 51, with Samuel Jackson and who the hell else is it? I can't.
Is that's Robert Carlyle?
Right, and it's a drug film, so to speak. Jackson is a chemist who and develops this drug which everybody wants, and then he manages to somehow get connected with this I can't remember if the guy is English or Irish, one of the two. Okay. The second, star in the film. Okay, and he has an Irish girlfriend who is also, by the way, a hit woman. And there is a scene in there. Well, I'm not going to give spoilers, okay? But what I will say is a golf club is a beautiful weapon. That's all I gotta say. Go watch the movie. Give it props. Go watch the movie.
Bob Odenkirk?
The what?
Bob Odenkirk. He plays
Don't.
Saul in Better Call Saul and the other TV show, Breaking Bad. Saul Goodman, the lawyer.
I've never seen any of the
Okay.
episodes.
He's a comic actor, but he was the star of an action movie called Nobody that was choreographed by the same guy who did the John Wick movies.
I think I saw that. Wasn't there a fight scene in a bus?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Where I mean, he got
Odenkirk
his
is
ass
playing a former like government like fight guy. Uh,
right. He got
he's now
beat.
living in the
Okay.
suburbs. He's retired,
And
and
there's a couple of times where I thought he was gonna croak. He was gonna buy the farm, and he ended up kicking all their asses. Yeah,
yeah.
that's from the scenes I saw. That's a good action film.
But the thing is, it is entirely again one of those white male power fantasies because Odenkirk made that movie after experiencing a home invasion and being humiliated by it. And so the movie is kicked off when the main character's home. A couple of kids break in with guns and steal stuff, and he goes like he comes out of his shell and goes on a violent spree.
Mhm.
um, it's a good action movie, but again, when it comes down to it, they're not Atomic Blonde.
Mm. That's Charlize Theron as like
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Hey.
set in Berlin in the toward the end of like in the mid '80s, I think. It's a really good
Mhm.
action movie, and it just plays with a lot of the tropes by just having a woman do all the stuff that a man would normally do, including having sex with a French woman.
Then there was a film I saw a long time ago. It was called My French Tutor. Basically the same thing.
Mhm.
Um, and I remember at one point he was being a rich white kid, okay, and his
Mhm.
dad paid for the tutor. He was being because I guess he needed it to go to college or some ignorant shit, but he was being accosted by her boyfriend. And one of my favorite lines in a movie, the boyfriend, he's like, um, he starts going into martial arts stances and stuff, you know, like he's gonna kick the kid's butt, you know.
Mhm.
He says something like, I know 47 ways to kill you or something like that, whatever. And the kid says, I'll be right back. And he comes out and he's the guy turns to look at him and he pulls a gun out and he says, I know one way to pull this trigger. And I like that one.
Mhm.
Somebody said I can see John Wick having white supremacy because in 3, the head guy is a Middle Eastern man and told John to cut one of his fingers off. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I've seen like that clip on
That's
YouTube.
a shout out to the Assassin's Creed series. They're having some fun with
And
Mhm.
it.
also, what movie was? Let me think. It's one word title, I think. Burt Reynolds played a cop, and they were I guess the mob was trying to find a bunch of money or a bunch of drugs or something, and they kept telling him, they're going to torture him, they're going to cut off his fingers, whatever. And I don't think it was that he um, didn't think they were going to do it. I just thought I wasn't going to. I thought I didn't think they were going to do it when I was watching the movie, and they did it. They cut one of his fingers off, and he ended up killing everybody. Or
Because that's what
Dennis
white
Hopper,
guys are good at. We're very good at killing people.
Dennis Hopper, and who the hell was it?
Wasn't
And I
that really
think
bad Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo?
no, this was
Yeah, the
it
Mario
was
Brothers
Dennis
movie.
Hopper played a what do you call it, pickpocket.
Okay, yeah,
And he and the two younger people
Crazy
working,
Six,
maybe, I'm not sure. He ended up
Gunsmoke.
getting killed.
No,
He ended up getting killed. And I believe I want to say it was Christopher Walken. I don't remember who the mob boss is, but he was a fairly good big star at the time, whoever it was.
yeah.
He was a pickpocket or some sort of lower level criminal, whatever it was.
Mm.
probably not Boogie Nights.
For anybody in the chat, because I'm getting ready to go here in just a couple minutes, for anybody in the chat, what's your favorite genre of movie that's not propaganda and is not brain part, not uh,
Superhero movies.
superhero or whatever action films, that type of thing. I love horror films. I can't watch zombie films because I have
Mm,
nightmares. I even tried once. I watched a clip. That's all it was a clip of Shaun of the Dead, and I love Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
mm,
I've watched everything else that they've done together,
mm,
and I also loved Simon in Star Trek.
mm.
But I watched one clip where his mom is like getting ready to turn into a zombie, but she isn't quite yet. And he's talking to her. You know, I don't remember if he's trying to tell her, that he's going to have to end up killing her or he doesn't want to kill her or whatever. And then you can see, obviously, with the makeup, whenever she turns into a zombie, he ends up killing her. And I had nightmares for 2 days. No. However, I can watch Nightmare on Elm Street. I can watch Hellraiser, House, all those movies, not a problem. There's one I want to watch, but I can't, and it's Dead Snow. And the premise is hilarious because, first of all, it's always college kids stuck in the middle of nowhere for some reason. Okay, so they're in a ski chalet in the Alps, and they're fighting zombie Nazis and being killed by zombie Nazis. Yeah. I think the best horror film I've ever seen, and it's an old one, is John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. That's a badass film.
I'd say, hey, let's see. The Metro loves like documentaries, nature documentaries. Marty Laughnaughty loves Seven Psychopaths. Joey loves horror movies. I guess if like I have to like pick a movie genre as comedies as well too.
Nature
But I
documentaries are definitely white supremacist because all the Native Americans are dead. Boom, got there.
uh, now it's like horror movies and zombie movies. Like for me, it just has to be a good movie. Just present to me a good movie as well too. I guess I also like sci-fi because of Star Wars and Star Trek as well too. And just like those are not some of them can be propaganda as well too, and some of these can be like Marvel superhero movies as well too. In that way. But like if you guys like, there has to be like a genre of comedies as well too. Uh, I guess anime as well too, but like I would actually argue that like no, that's more of a distinction of like where to produce like foreign films as well too. The foreign films are not really a genre as of itself; it's just more of a classification, a
The
category.
foreign films are a genre if you're going to the Oscars.
That is true. Dramas, whatever Akira Kurosawa does, I like he does like interesting films as well too. Uh, Shakespeare, I mean, but like Shakespeare does comedies and dramas and like historical tragedies as well too. So like, yeah.
Horror is probably going to be the easiest genre to write in the near term
Sure.
future because all you have to do is include a black person and you're going to scare America.
Right. I wrote it's in my book, my latest book, I should say. I have like 7 or 8 books on Amazon. It's in my latest book called The Shining Realms, and it's a bunch of short stories and vignettes. And I wrote in a vignette, it's titled Let It Rain.
Hmm.
It's also, I have an audiobook because I'm getting ready to go. So I have an audiobook channel, and what it is, it's my writing, except for one story, which is my satirical take on the Three Little Pigs, called
Hmm.
Bob Hob and Nob versus Bob Hob and Nob, case number 426 versus the state and the banks of the Piddleston River. And then there's a bunch of other vignettes and stuff on there, but the one in
The big bad
specific,
bank is trying to repossess their homes.
yeah. Well, like in one point, because I said I lampoon liberals as well as conservatives. Like they're looking for the first house they come across, they were looking for a house of twigs, okay, which is the story. So this realtor is selling them a house, and it's all organic twigs, and it's in the raised from trees and on the banks of the Piddleston River, and they use only organic pesticides, and it's hand tended, all that stuff, right? But the Let It Ring is I don't want to spoil it, so the Let It Ring is a story about a dystopian future, which could be within the next 10 years in America. And I wrote this like 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. And I'm not clairvoyant or anything. It's just, it just popped in my head, as all my stories do. So I have an audiobook channel. I have a blue sky, 2 blue skies. One is called The Angry Wrench, all one word. And the other is called Shuan of the Fae, which I will type that out in the how you spell it.
Oh,
Because,
good. The heist movies. That's a good like a way to put it. Those are like definitely different than like propaganda as well too.
Hmm.
right.
Although,
Um,
again, there's usually involved rich white men stealing from other rich white
That's sad.
so I have The Angry Wrench, I have Shaun of the Fae, I have the audiobook channel. It's all of the stories except for the ones I read are read by friends of mine. I have a couple English readers. Um, I have a French reader, and so of course they put their accent on it. I just let them go. Here's a story, read it.
men.
And I have my own show, which is coming up in about half an hour ish. What time is it? Yeah, about 25 minutes or so. I'll turn the chat on. I usually turn the chat on 10 minutes before I start. And it's the Angry Wrench Speaks.
Hmm.
And I do speak. I run my mouth.
Yes.
This week is the top 5 stories of the last week.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
thank you for letting me on. Come on
No
and run my
problem.
mouth. I appreciate it. I
Hmm.
will also give a shout out for this channel and their channels and whatever. I always do a pinned post
Yeah.
below the comments.
Cool.
So, wo ist meine? Where the hell is my Zoom? I don't know. I don't know. I just
It's
work here.
meinen Zoom. I think it's meinen Zoom.
Wo ist meine Zoom? Oh, gotta say, cafe, my one to beat though. All right.
Oh,
Anything you want to say to me before I go? Kiss my ass, whatever.
Peanut butter egg
I,
dog.
as I was about to ask you a question, but that would be sort of a whole topic as well too. And so I'll just like let you go and just ask the question to
Well,
the audience as well.
give me the question, and I'll force myself to keep it to 1 or 2 sentences.
10 words or less.
Okay.
Oh, I hate
If
that shit.
is blocking someone means that like I don't want to I fear their opinion and so thus the person I blocked wins.
Yes, Kirok won.
I'm sorry. Say it again. Say it again.
If
I
you
have
block
processed-
someone so that you don't have to hear their bullshit, does that mean they win the argument?
So say it again, please.
If I block someone because like if I block someone because I don't want to interact with them, does that mean that like I fear their opinion and thus they claim victory?
There's nothing wrong with taking out the trash, especially if it is GOP trash or anti-actual freedom trash. All right. Peace out, everybody. Thanks.
Right.
Bye bye. Yes, that's who I'm interacting with in the DMs. It's just a long thing. I'm stuck with him. He's stuck with me as we're too. He's
Well,
claiming
you can
that
probably
like
block him in the DMs too. But
I can block him again in the DMs. He just asked me to like unblock him as well too. I thought I swear I said yesterday on my stream as it were too. I'll do it after the stream. Fine, I'll unblock you. I'll do it after the stream as well too. But we couldn't communicate on Discord because of settings of mine too. But then he came and said, I still can't DM you on Discord. It's just a fucking hell, Kirok. I thought I said I will take care of it after stream as well too. So I friended him on Discord, and so yeah, then. He's still watching as well too.
well, I think, to be honest, given what's going on in his life and the stuff he's going through and the stuff he's doing, he's probably pretty isolated, and interacting with you might be some of the only social interaction he gets.
That's probably it, honestly. That unlike in like Seachai's channel as well too, which like we're forced to interact with if I have in the Seachai's like community, at least just ask ways and like Patreon hangouts.
But
So like
at the same time, you don't owe it to him to be his social interaction.
yeah,
Especially if
I
it's
agree.
just going to be nonstop arguments. I mean, that's a lot of energy that you don't necessarily owe to him.
And granted, I just like, oh, hey, Kirok, you're here in my Twitch chat as well, too. Let me just vent about capitalism now to just upset you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, agree, Murray. That person has success as well, too, because, like, after I banned him from, like, a Twitch channel, he went into, like, Necronomicon's, like, Discord server complaining about me, even, like, banning him, and it was in my DMs on, like, Facebook as well, too. And now it's going, like, to type to me about how I'm talking about him on the show. Well, like, he cannot, like, type in anything in, like, this live chat right now.
Did I block him in here? I don't know if
I banned him from
the
this
you banned him
chat.
in here. Okay.
I'm a mod, so yeah.
So is everyone else.
It's kind of hard to like. We really have to like I went to your chat. It was like very aggressive. Yeah, he is aggressive.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm trash talking you on like such just as Alchemy.
Did he just DM you?
Yes, he calls me a coward.
Yeah. But whatever.
Yeah.
So let's see. I found something on Reddit. Let's see. Here we go. It's Bernie Sanders being, let's see, it's a tweet from APAC, the AIPAC, American Israeli Political Action Committee, probably. But it says, "Thank you, Senator Sanders, for your strong opposition to a permanent ceasefire with Hamas." Let's see what Sanders has to say. Let's see. I'm going to want to share sound. Where's advanced computer audio, so that this way you can hear what I am about to share. 19 seconds.
In terms of a permanent ceasefire, I don't know how you could have a permanent ceasefire with Hamas, who has said before October 7th and after October 7th that they want to destroy Israel. They want a permanent war. I don't know how you have a permanent ceasefire with an attitude like that.
Yeah. So I got that from a socialist subreddit. And their comment was, "This is the furthest left you get in the U.S." And yeah, pretty much. Or at least in the U.S. government. So, I mean, he's right. You can't really have a permanent ceasefire with Hamas. But he's wrong that it's not just Hamas. You can't have a permanent ceasefire with Israel. Is there a fascist state?
Yeah, because like even while like that ceasefire was called, there were still like terrible atrocities happening in the West Bank because like that's still settlers like going in there like stealing homes from like Palestinians as well too, and like the violence was like still there, always ongoing as well too, and it's just like yeah, no, the Israel will not like stop until like all the Palestinians are just left from Palestine, and forever, and that's it, and so. My favorite two genres are steampunk spy adventures for like modern urban fantasy. Oh, that's interesting. I guess like I don't think too deeply about like those kind of genres that I just like seek out on the just like anime. But again, there's like many different genres of anime as well too. Who's breaking the ceasefire? Israel, definitely. Marty, it's
Who's
just always
committing
been
genocide? Israel.
Israel. Yeah.
So. Oh no, we
Uh,
said the G word. We're going to get demonetized.
We're already demonetized. I'm not.
People can't even comment under these videos.
Yeah, it's. I don't know how to like fix that because like I'm not the channel owner as well too. Well, I like have a series in my books later called The Watering Hole. It's a bar run by like retired vampire hunters, and his bouncer is like a trans woman who's a blood mage. That sounds like fun as well too. There's a stupid car outside that's just like constantly has his like alarm going off, and it's like preoccupying me as well too. Um, so yeah, what else is there that's going on to talk about like in the last like 15 minutes as well too? Uh, I guess like that was weird in the like in a kind of like a press conference at the Oval Office, something like that, of like Elon Musk having his like son being present throughout the whole thing. That was just like, why have him there as well too, and put it in the public light like that as well too. But this guy's like, Musk is just praying around his like son too. Like, it seemed like, look, I'm a general human being as well too, not like a terrible white nationalist dictator or wannabe as well too. I'm being playful with some fun, and it's just like, but I bet like you can't know for sure. I bet like the Elon Musk is only interacting with his son when the camera's on, but it's just like he should not. Uh, the son should not be in the public light like that as well too. That's just yeah.
Oh, let's see. More corruption. The government just agreed to like shell out like tens of millions of dollars for Cybertrucks for the military.
Hmm.
Yeah, and soon all of our wars are going to be like Vietnam.
Oh, God, the Cybertruck. They look ugly. It's just like with everything else, they just look ugly. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like I think the only people that like love those
$400
like
million for Cybertrucks for the military.
I agree, Lucidia, and that's what always forever uses like on his like shield is like, oh, at least trying to it's like shield against like propaganda, shield against like criticisms, but those I had to like to think that he would like use like his son's literal shield, but like that's a dark thought that would just like stop it there. Stephen Miller was like it was there. I'm surprised he didn't like dislocate his like jaw and his wall like most of his son.
Because he
It's
probably tastes like something bad.
mm,
Let's see.
yeah.
If you were to barbecue Musk, what would he taste like?
I don't want to know. I don't. He would be just really gamey, I think, as well too.
Cat vomit and coal ash.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have know what else to like talk about as well too. Piston like crusted it sucks. Good. I'm glad like they like they're absolute trash the vehicles as well too. It's just like I feel for the servicemen that like that like still well, there's also like a lot of government like employees that like they Inger Wrench said as a bond is that like you just like stay there until the bitter end, force them to have to like fire you. Don't like him if you don't like do their illegal acts as well too, because like yeah, it's probably just like use this incredibly lone scum. Okay, that's a good anagram as well too. Just like
Problem
how
is, he
like I
has
call
so many incel followers.
that's right, and it's just like. I'm assuming that like if you try barbecue, he would just like burn instantly and turn to like charcoal as well too. Oh, at that point, he'd be useful if he's charcoal, honestly. No king shame here, but I heard like wants to like age play. Yeah, again, not the king shame, but like, yes, he'd be useful once like Elon Musk is like
No, Musk isn't into age play. He's into underage girls. That's an entirely different thing.
like Matt Gates as well.
Like Matt Gates, like everyone else in the Republican Party who was friends with the guy who killed himself.
Jeffrey Epstein.
That the one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like what to do with this? What to do for in the next 2 years? Because like maybe in the maybe with the midterms, like well, the midterms they do happen, which they probably will. I don't doubt that they won't as well too. I mean, yeah, 0% like more than 0% chance that like we won't be midterm selection, but I think they will be. It's just like. And it's most likely just going to again be like a swing back toward like the at least the Democrats will at least regain the House because that's how it always happens. Just historically, it always happens that like the party in power will like lose one or both parts of the Congress as well too, generally the House as well too. And since like how terrible things are going right now as well too and again, the reason why Trump got like enough votes to just squeak out the like plurality votes to like win the election is that like he said that he will do something about the inflation and the prices as well too, but the prices have gone up as well. So like people remember what like Trump was like during the his first term and how terrible things are and the prices are still not going down across the board on like all things, not just eggs as well too. And so the Democrats will like I predict that the Democrats will win back the House in like midterms, so there'll be like at least like a stopgap. Again, it's just a stopgap as well too. And I'm not expecting much as well too. And again, like, with those kind of elections as well too, at least there's not like any bullshit thing like the electoral college as like kind of like makes it pointless for like people to vote then unless they're in swing states. Those like votes in like midterms do matter as well too. So there's that as well. And yeah, I agree. Like, Angry Wrench, it's like the guardians of like pedophile party as well too. There's of course rumors of fixing the voting machines too, especially since like Trump took all of the battleground states. Yeah. Okay. It's Drake versus Contra explained to white people.
Didn't they release some diss tracks like 2, 3 months ago? Is that what's
Yeah,
going
they
on?
did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that still going
that's
on?
I it is again. All I care about like between like of like what like Kendrick
Of
Lamar
course, they
said
won't let go
about
of
like
power without force, Joe. That's the
yes, I
point.
agree.
They believe in the unitary executive.
Yeah, I agree. And Boop the City, hello, how you doing? And glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. Uh, what was I about to say? This word too. Damn it. I lost my train of thought. It's like, do you all see like Shannara like dance at the Super Bowl in like 10 Seconds of Beauty? No, I haven't. I didn't see the Super Bowl at
You
all.
booped me.
I didn't see the Super Bowl at all. I know that like the Eagles won handily, I guess, and they're oh yeah, Kendrick Lamar did mention something again about like Drake, which is why the topic is still coming up as well too.
Okay.
Even though the diss track from Kendrick Lamar was like 3 months ago,
Didn't one
and
of them
like
call the other a pedophile or something?
basically Drake there's is I think there's rumors that like Drake could being like rumor, honestly. At least rumors as well too. Not sure how credible it is, but like I think Drake is a total creep, and that's what Kendrick Lamar is calling Drake out for, essentially. So it's like if like and yeah, he's like okay, so halftime show is worth watching as well too. And yeah,
Yeah,
they had
last Monday, there was a good opportunity to get a few people off my friends list on Facebook, depending on how they respond to the halftime show. It also let me know that there's some people at my gym I shouldn't talk to.
Oh, so you're finally recovering from the flu. Wow,
Oof.
7 weeks.
Yeah,
Ugh.
a lot of people, oh, I had the flu. No, you didn't. You had a cold. Otherwise, you wouldn't be standing here talking to me.
Yeah. Most of the times I get sick, like I'm sure it's just like a head cold, something like that, get plugged up and something like that. It's always just been a head cold.
Three
A
days
flu,
coming, 3 days staying, 3 days going. It's a bad week, but it's still just a week with a cold.
yeah, exactly. Hey, but like no flu, no. I thank God they haven't had like the flu. Even though for a long time I wasn't getting flu shots because I was afraid it was like egg based. But to find out that like no, there's eggless like flu shots easily available. Okay, then give me those. It's like there we go.
Would there really be enough egg in a vaccine to cause a reaction, though?
Well, it was when I was a 6 month old baby for the MMR shot.
Well, you were a lot smaller.
But that was enough that like I got exception for my MMR shot when I was in the sixth
Okay.
grade.
Okay.
Hey, so this is why I wish for those who can get a vaccine to get the vaccine for herd immunization. My younger brother, but he only got the one as well too. He doesn't care about anything else. Is he only need to watch the one video as well too.
Did you hear there's been a measles outbreak in Texas?
I think I have heard of that.
Mhm. And soon we're bringing back polio. We're going to make America
Mm.
not walk again.
Do they still make those iron lungs that some people need?
Yeah, I'm going to invest.
Yeah, I agree. The city, I'm afraid the RFK Jr. is going to nuke vaccines as well too.
They've already nuked the National Institutes of Health and everything else.
Mhm.
So, yeah, of course they're going to nuke vaccines.
Yep. Okay. Take care. Like in the Angry Wrench. Make America polio again. I guess as
That's
well
one way
too.
to stop people coming here because of all the plagues. Notice the title for this week's episode.
Yeah, the plagues are coming back, and like, hey, they want to do something about the indigenous people that are still here, and then refuse to die. Honestly, the gumption of them.
Well,
We
that's what
love
the
you, Joe.
pipelines are for, to make so they can't fish or grow anything on what little land they have.
Yeah, exactly. Forces through like the indigenous like lands because like who's going to complain? They tried to do that in the
No,
backyards of-
Mithril. Sanatoriums are for liberals. Sanatoriums are for TB.
I think he did meant sanatoriums.
Yes, I know, but I'm just ripping. It's called Yes and. Look it up.
I did took improv. Anyway, yeah, so it's like
That's the name of my nightclub, the Sanatorium.
So everyone, do everything in the best of your abilities to take care of the people around you, the people you care about, as well as yourself, whatever you need to do.
Stockpile masks.
Yeah, I agree. I think like if you have like you spoonie and you have like not enough spoons to keep up with news, I understand that as well too.
And before they destroy the internet, Google how to rob banks now. Don't rob banks.
Yeah,
Definitely rob banks.
Yeah, definitely just like Google a bunch of stuff now before like Google becomes unusable because like yeah, Google is
They've
now
already blocked Pornhub here in South Carolina.
wow, what's the
Well,
point of
no,
that?
Pornhub has said that they're doing a thing because South Carolina is doing a thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. But like
Fortunately, I
Google,
don't really use Pornhub because, see, I like the really nasty porn, and they don't include that anymore.
that's not my experience with Pornhub, but also like Pornhub's like terrible to his workers as well as sex workers as well too, from what I heard. Anyway, but also Google has now did like rename it Gulf America as well as like Apple.
Fucking cowards.
Yeah, fucking cowards. No, Wikipedia's holding it out though, but also I forgot who's mentioned it to float the idea. Oh yeah, there was like some governor, someone in Georgia, Thuggle King, that's put out a bill or something like that to like institute that we take over Greenland and turn it into like red, white, and blue land.
Greenland's still not for sale.
It's still not for sale. It's just like Denmark
But
owns
Trump
it, and
really wants to expand the empire.
as I guess it wants to see what's underneath all the ice when the ice melts away.
Well, you know what? We should just let him invade Puerto Rico. It's already an American territory. I know that.
Yes, an American Commonwealth.
Gulf F.
I think what. Yes, go Fefe.
Gulf
We probably should
F.
like go Fefe. So I think that we're just riffing right now. Like I only got a few minutes left. Let's just like call it here as well too. The Angry Rich the show's gonna like be on soon. There's the link again as well too. Probably actually just gonna like see if like the live link. No live link. Oh, like she's live right now. Yes, it is. All right, I'm gonna mute that and then pause that. Here's the watch link for her show now live as well too. Wait a minute, I now have to like look at the stream itself. It's Django Fat. I can tell it's Django Fat because of the blue, and it's just wearing blue jeans.
No, those are specifically Janko jeans. That's Janko Fett. Those were popular in the 90s. You were a little too young for those.
Probably, I don't remember. Yes,
but they were really popular with a certain crowd.
Mm-hmm.
These incredibly wide leg jeans.
And so, and Isaiah Taylor was not able to join us because of like internet problems for him. But like the cosplay crafts, I should like have the link ready right away. Wait, like the cosplay crafts, I've linked it before in other shows. You can like find it there. Summer Geek on like Twitter, Tumblr, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, and like Twitch. And I'll be like streaming later today. And probably just going to do Skyrim and Brim Skies for like several hours as well too. John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Dungeons and Debacles. We will be playing tonight, probably.
Nice. Oh,
because everyone else said that they were able to play, and I am able to play, so we're probably going to play, unless somebody came in and said they can't play.
And speaking of later tonight, my friend Necronomicon wants to like play poker with me, so I'm gonna be playing poker with Necronomicon. I'll probably also will stream it to my channel as well too, but like to just promote our friend Necronomicon, I'll just go and get like our Twitch channel up. So later on tonight, it'll be like midnight Eastern and like about 9 p.m. ish Pacific my time as well too. It depends when like dinner's done as well too. And so yeah, I'm going to be playing with like poker with her. Maybe others will join us, so we'll see. And yeah, that's about it. Don't forget Charity Links page. Take care, everyone. Practice self-care.
Take care of everyone. Take care of one another. And rob banks.
Don't take legal advice from a podcast.
Don't take bank robbing advice from a podcast. Bye, everybody.